All right. That's actually, Kelly, that's really impressive how you have the entire bookcase gin panoramic view. That's I like that.
And then it goes around the corner, and then on the other behind the computer too, and then around the corner, and then like on the floor, and then under the bed, and then behind a bookcase.
We I still have probably why I shouldn't come to ADI anymore. I still have a storage unit full, not just the booze. There's books still, but it's getting out of control. So
yeah, unfortunately, the whiskey doesn't fit in my very small 1-bedroom apartment, so it's in the storage unit. I call it my retirement fund. So I've decided that I was going to be addicted to opiates in my 80s because, why not at that point? And so I would sell off, my whiskey and my higher end spirits to feed that habit, I think is something that I probably should not be saying on a recording. But yeah,
being recorded. Great, thanks for that. There you go.
And that begins episode 2.
Responsibly.
And then we never heard from Kelly again. But yeah, so I in the actual moving, I'm gonna hire movers to move the gin down 3 flights of stairs and then up 1 flight of stairs of my new place, because I did that once and once was enough.
All of the gin.
All of the gin, yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
Not like taking some choice pieces that you really like to do it yourself.
Oh yeah, I mean.
Have you not learned from Aaron Knoll's mistake? Because that's what he did.
I must say, Aaron Knoll, a friend of ours, an author and a gin lover, when he moved from, I didn't say that, Smith. You said that. You can.
I did. But I did say that, Aaron. You're a scruff bag.
When he moved, because he was living in Queens, and he actually moved from Queens to Denver a month before I moved from San Francisco to New York. I don't know if that was purposeful. I don't know if
I've heard some things, but as it's been recorded, I don't want to upset you.
Well, thank you. We can talk about it offline. But anyway, when he moved, he broke some of his bottles, and he moved himself, and I had to move myself again also because it's illegal to move alcohol across state lines. So I couldn't get any movers to do it. I couldn't get anyone to convince that I had 1,400 bottles of olive oil. So, but in my move from San Francisco to New York in a 17-foot truck, death truck, I only lost 1 bottle in breakage. And that was a bottle that I picked up along the way that I had just kind of haphazardly thrown in the back of the truck. And so I ended up we spent the night in, I think it was Oklahoma, and we opened up the roll things, and things had shifted, and of course it fell and broke. And that was the only bottle I broke because I'm very good at packing and securing the gin. Yes, I mean, Smith, you've seen my suitcases ability.
It's true. All those very nice blankets.
Yes.
Never seen them available in the shop, but interesting nevertheless.
Yeah, it's a perk of being a member.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, when I moved from Chicago to California, most of what I brought was books and booze and wine.
Did you get any breakages of the books?
No breakages of the books, and no bottles broken either. We had a friend who was, and again, I actually do the actual physical driving myself because it's better, and like you said, nobody can or will move alcohol. I label my boxes with a city so I know what they are, but nobody else does. So yeah. So what are we drinking? It's early here. It's like 11 a.m. here, but I know you guys are
late here. It's 7:10.
And I'm on my third taste of gin. This is Old Hollywood out of Napa Valley Distillery. This is their summer sequel.
Oh,
yeah, it's an interesting one. I've had their original Old Hollywood. they were very vocal when we were at Whitechapel about it. I have a bottle of it somewhere in the collection. It's a compound, meaning botanicals are added after distillation, which is not wrong. It's been done for thousands of years. It's just what they chose to do. Yeah, and it definitely does do different things. I personally, as a gin lover, have my fair share of issues, not necessarily issues, but just I don't prefer rested spirits or aged gin, just because I like what happens with gin before we've decided to put it in a barrel. And again, we've come a long way with rested gins in the last few years, where it's not as aggressive. People are not just trying to engage in whiskey drinkers. Like, oh, here, we've got a gin that we put in a barrel that's bourbon, so you're a whiskey drinker and you're going to like it. I've seen a lot more purposeful resting and aging, which I am very thankful for, and I think that a lot of people are using the barrel as another botanical flavor profile in there. It's very much like a lot of people are starting to use what they make the spirit from as a botanical essence of the gin.
Or even a way to add more juniper.
Or a way to, yeah. Speaking of that, we were talking about what we were going to try. It's one of my favorite. Little Herno. This one's not open yet. I feel bad for opening it.
Don't. I mean, don't feel bad for opening it. Yeah.
Don't open it. Actually, I'm going to get the open bottle.
There you go.
Pardon me.
Shall I try out this new gin I got today? Because I'm very excited to try it. It's got a very unusual serve. Is that all right with you, Justin? Justy baby?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. You get the glass.
Got the open bottle.
Score.
Have you tried this one before?
Glass. Cool.
Get a frosted glass?
Yeah, it is. Well, no, it's just been in the freezer.
Well, that's what I meant, frosted, as in...
It's this gin here. This is just, I think, this is gin here, Beaufort, which is a scale for like measuring gale force winds, weather and stuff like that. But it was a bloke, a scientist, who did a lot with weather. They sent me a very specific list of how to prepare this drink, so I'm going to have to read it whilst I do it. But it's kind of just a bit of fun, I think. So they also, the people that make it, they do like fragrance and stuff like that. So he sent me this very nifty hand sanitizer.
Nice.
So the first step is I've got to clean my hands with this hand sanitizer. So I'm going to do that whilst Kelly's doing it.
It's not the first time you've cleaned your hands today.
No.
Probably.
Got a real smell to it. Like sort of cedar and pine. And then I've got to roll a lime. Here we go. You can't see me. I'm going to have to do it like this.
There you go. Yep.
You're not getting the top and the bottom. You got it like really like the butter bowls, like really like those fancy hotels that have the butter. Yeah. Much better. Yeah.
All right, fine. Now I'm gonna cut the wedge. The wedge. I need some wedges, and I'm cutting the tops off. So I know you don't like it, Kelly, but I'm doing it anyway.
I can't even talk to you when you're like this. You're just you're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong. You're getting lines wrong. Right.
How to cut fruit next week on BevFluence.
How to pack gin in boxes.
Fill a highball with glass. I've done that. Good. Lime. Got to squeeze it in. And then discard. There we go. That up later.
It's on the carpet now.
It's on the vinyl.
Oh, even better.
And then 50 ml-ish of the gin.
Is that actually say ish?
Does it say ish?
It does actually say 50 ml-ish.
Oh, nice.
Nice. I do applaud that part of it. Yeah.
At least they're having some fun with it. That's good.
I gotta get the tonic. So this is a salted Paloma grapefruit soda.
Oh. Is that readily available in mail delivery in your neck of the woods?
The gin or the soda?
The soda.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Okay.
Well, something else I'm going to have to hold on for you, is it, Kelly? The post office.
I'm not saying yes or no.
Then squeeze the other lime wedge over the top. Right. Done that. Doesn't say whether to put it in or not. I'll put it in. I like the green with the pink. And then the final bit, and this is kind of, so as I said, they do these, it's a fragrance company primarily. So they've sent me this little strip, standard, right? These little things. And this tiny
You stick
little.
it up your nose?
Yes. Yes, well. So you got to spray it on there.
Are you spraying it over your drink or away from your drink?
No, you just got to spray it on the thing, I think.
Well, I mean, there's some that still hang in the air. It's very
Well,
important.
Well, I know. I've never been one of those people handing out the strips.
Are you actually even qualified to make this drink then?
No, well, probably not. If it was like selling TVs, I could do that because I've done that. And then I was hoping that the condensation would make it stick to the glass. But I don't know. I've been chatting for too long, I think. Bear with me. I'm just going to kind of... You can't see this. It looks worse than it is. Anyway, there you go. Roughly. There we go. That's how I've done it. It's quite nice because as you get to the front, you get like the little whiff of the slightly salty. Smells like the sea. Tales of old, it smells like. It's quite nice. It's smoky. The gin's got a slight smokiness to it. It's a bit like a Paloma, but with gin instead. And the little strip, but it's quite nice to...
So my question for you is, after you've gone through all these steps, the hand sanitizers, the rolling, the squeeze and throw it into the vinyl and all of it.
Maybe that's why I wasn't meant to put the lime in there, because it's got hand sanitizer on it.
Well, my question for you is, did the theater of creating the drink, because I think that's what it was a good bit of theater, which is something we miss about going to bars.
I agree.
Do you think that added to the enjoyment of the drink that you are now drinking?
Yeah, I think so. I enjoyed the performance. I mean, I was really the performer, wasn't I? I enjoyed the performance. I enjoyed your rapt attention, and I enjoyed the drink afterwards.
My question is, if you had the drink
again, it worked.
If you had the drink again, would you do the whole thing over?
If I was doing it with, so like, I've got some more of the stuff, so when my wife comes back, I might make her one, and I'll do the same thing again. But it's a shared thing. It's a performance. If I was just here on my own, other than to try it, I might not. But like, it's something to share with people. I think it's quite good fun. So,
what would you change if when you do it again? Is there
be better?
Would you
maybe a voice?
Yeah, it was kind of a long process. I don't think the internet has enough space.
A hat? A monocle? A hat?
It doesn't have enough space.
The internet doesn't have enough space for the process.
Maybe a good backdrop?
That's Justin saying this is not making the final edit. Get that out of here.
It's in there. It's in there. Don't worry.
I think it'd be very much like, I would have enjoyed it more if you had like a fruit hat on your head.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, like in the I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Pineapple.
Well, maybe later. Maybe later, Kelly. I'll bring you up later.
Okay.
And I'll do it again. There's a new one on there now. It's like pencil line drawings. So like you put Take On Me on and you kind of dance around. It's like you're in the music video.
So cross hatching, got it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's only good for that, really.
My what I'm sampling is not as, like, I don't have fruit or perfumes. I have a little small glass, so I have that. And this is the Here No Old Tom. I don't know if I loved Old Tom gins because of the fact that it was the underdog. You know, I always like to vote for the underdogs. You know, living in Oakland, you know, I had to like, if I had to like sports, I had to like the Oakland A's before they were famous.
Did you?
Because they were the underdog. I don't like sports, so that analogy doesn't really work. But there's something about Old Tom historically that I really love. And I love the fact that so many people don't understand the category. And so it's always a really great, not necessarily teaching moment, but a moment to get people to have that light bulb go on. But when it comes to Old Toms, I really love the more European style of it not being put in a barrel. It doesn't necessarily need to be sweetened afterwards. I just think when I think of a good Old Tom, I think of a gin that is more botanically driven. There's more there. It's got more viscosity and more body. And when I first got introduced, thanks to Smith of the Here No, he's not even paying attention to me right now. Thanks.
Sorry.
Thanks, buddy.
I am listening.
I watched your whole song and dance, and you're just on the phone playing like some type of game. That's fine.
These
but,
candies are not going to cross themselves, Kelly. You know it is.
But Smith introduced me to this Swedish distillery, and I just fell in love with it so much. And I would always say when I would talk, especially when I was at Whitechapel, about what one of my favorite gins were and styles, this would be one of them. And I'd always joke, if I had enough of it, I would bathe in it. I'd put it in my bathtub and I would bathe in it.
If you're listening, you'll need the distiller.
I'll have to tag all the distillers, and of course you can find Kelly and David's links below in the things. So definitely go to their sites and check it out. Summer Fruit Cup and Sipsmith, and of course don't forget to subscribe. Just shameless plug as I'm supposed to do on the YouTube. So yeah.
Kelly, do you like this? Just before we start again. Oh, like this.
Oh, well, hold on. So as beverage professionals,
we're professionals, Smith. We've made it.
Yeah. Yes.
We have briefcases and
so
I think, Mom, I'm a professional.
You're on the show.
I told you.
It's happened. Where do some, because I know we don't do it, where do some get the audacity, the unmitigated goal to tell people how to drink their drinks?
Kelly?
Thanks, Smith. Thanks for sending that one over. So I think it comes in twofold. It's like, first of all, no one wants to tell you how to drink your drink. Just, I like to say, just put it in your mouth kind of a thing, which is very not PC or very good. But when it comes to drinking, as opposed to saying how you should, I think it's better to suggest the best ways to enjoy. And lately we've, especially from a brand side or supplier side, you're seeing a lot of this term perfect serve. This is especially in gin there. And I think Hendrix had knocked it out of the park. And I really haven't seen anyone really since come up to the catosphere of their garnish for their perfect serve, which is the cucumber. If one brand had ever changed the course of what a dive bar in the US had to carry as a garnish, that would be the cucumber with Hendrix. Working in bars in the United States where it did not have a kitchen, and people would just get so dumbstruck about why we didn't have a cucumber. So they could put it in their gin and tonic. I think it really did change this idea, and it really did. It did a few things. It elevated people's thought about it's not just a gin and tonic isn't just a throwaway drink. There is mindfulness in like what you do with it. It also opened up people to really have something to identify once the drink was poured into a glass and everything is the same color. So that's some of the positiveness of it, but also on some of the negatives is I do believe that we get a little heavy-handed. The theater on that last drink, Smith, was great, but would most people do that? Do you get less enjoyment if you do not do it the way they say to do it? And also, there were so many steps, we might actually lose a few consumers, like we were saying earlier, if you didn't have lavender syrup or you didn't have this thing that most consumers have. Do they not enjoy it as fully if they don't? So should they not try? So I think suggestions are good. How you drink it, I think is not the way to go.
Yeah, I think that, and I think this is obviously something that's been sent out to journalists to kind of capture their attention, and so they think this is kind of fun, and they come on their friends' video thing and try it out. So I think that's worked that way. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, yeah, there's lots of other drinks I think it would make. I'm very keen, because it's quite smoky, to try it in a Negroni. I'm very excited by that. But yeah, I think suggestion is really good. But like being really prescriptive, it doesn't make sense to me. But like, there's also, I mean, I've been on a few conversations with people recently, and we've been tasting through their gins, and there's a couple of them, and we're like, you know, this will go really well with Coca-Cola. Did you hear that? I don't know. Coca-Cola, if you didn't hear what I said. It's feet at the point of whispering. But so I said that, and they were just kind of like,
we're a Pepsi house here, my friend.
oh, well, I like Pepsi as well. But anyway, Coke, anyway, regardless.
A cola or aromatic soda.
Cola, okay, cola. My goodness. Can I do that a little bit again?
or a pop, as some people would say.
Pop, cola pop.
Cool.
So, as I said, I think this would go well with cola pop. And they looked absolutely horrified. And I was like, why do you care? If people are buying it, if it makes a good drink, if they enjoy it. And then I went and got some Pepsi, as I had some in the fridge. And I mixed the drink. And I was like, it's fantastic. And they're like, okay, I'm going to have to try that. And it's an old drink, at least from the 1930s, maybe late 1920s, known as the Southern Exposure, which sounds like something where you've forgotten to put your trousers on. But nevertheless,
or a television show of the 90s. But I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that my great aunt, who taught me how to make drinks when I was 7 years old, because she was too lazy to make her own drinks, she would always say something that really resonated with me. She's like, life is hard. Drinking shouldn't have to be.
well,
right?
I agree.
Yeah, like if you want to mix your gin of choice in a cola, mix it in a cola. If you want to garnish your gin and tonic with pink peppercorns and strawberries and raspberries and leaves of a fig tree, have at it.
Right.
But you don't necessarily need it to enjoy it.
No. I think one of the, not a gin related thing, but one of the best slightly unusual simple serves that I ever heard recommended by the brand themselves was Johnny Walker Black Label and cream soda. And you might be like, what? But it really works. And it's so simple as well. I mean, you get cream soda, you've got Johnny Walker, bit of lime. And I thought, yeah, that's like, I like that approach, because if it tastes good, that's sufficient, I would say. We were also talking about a citrus vodka, a botanical citrus vodka, and we're kind of almost slightly nervous to say mix it with Coke, but how much vodka's mixed with Coke? Loads. And it was a great vodka. Going to make a great vodka and Coke.
Not to mention the outbreak of citrus colas all around the world.
There is a lot of them. The hard seltzer movement has brought, renaissance is the wrong word, but has definitely brought seltzer back to
enlightenment, I would say.
There you go.
I would like to think, especially with certain demographics here in the United States, LaCroix kind of opened up the door, and then hard seltzer just pushed its way through.
Just while we're talking about slightly unconventional serves, Kelly, can you tell us a bit about the Dirty Dump, please?
What a dirty dump is?
Yeah,
please.
Because I'm quite a fan.
Okay, so the Dirty Dump, for whatever it sounds like, it is very much a style of cocktail making that was pretty much in every cocktail bar up until, this cocktail revolution of the last, 12, 13, 14 years. Where
just while you describe this, I'm going to prepare a Dirty Dump. Okay.
Okay. I'm really hoping we're on the same page of what we're talking about, and it's not something else going on over there.
I would say do it on camera, but that's,
yeah. So anyway, coming from a bartender background where the Dirty Dump was just how you did it. There wasn't a name for it. It just is. It is what it is. This is how you make it. So basically, you'll take your usually a pint glass. You'd fill it, you'd put your ice on it. Hopefully you did not use the ice glass to scoop the ice out, because that was, even when we didn't have like good ice, a lot of us knew better than put ice in the ice well. And so what happens is you would build your drink into the glass with the ice. You would put your metal shaker on top. You would probably shake it either too much or too little, because dilution wasn't a thing that you really thought about. It depends on how fast you need to get through all these drinks. And then you would crack it, and then you would take the entire contents, including all the ice, and dump it into the drinking vessel and serve it to the guest. This is called a dirty dump. Where when we started to look more about dilutions and ice was an issue in programs, or we were getting really geeky into it, we realized that using the same ice as in making the drink and as what we sip on it, you're making the dilution go faster. So we would then strain it onto new ice to slow down the dilution rate, but still keep the drink cold. And so there were certain people in the industry that would really think that certain drinks, and I am in the camp of the margarita, was actually texturally better if you shook it properly and then dirty dumped it into it, because
Oh no!
you had the citrus and things going with the ice. Is this the dirty dump you're talking about?
Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
I did one with a gimlet.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing. And I think also the dirty dump lends itself very well to porch sipping.
Oh, yeah. As you said, Justin, you're originally from the South. I had the fun honor last year around this time. It was Gin World St. Louis, and Smith and I were staying at a really good friends of ours. She calls it Air G&T. Which is right across the way from her gin bar called the Gin Room. Natasha was letting us. And so we were having drinks on the porch. And it wasn't actually a porch. It was actually a stoop, because a porch goes the entire length of the building, where a stoop is only around the door, where Smith and I had multiple conversations about porches versus stoops and balconies. And then also this idea of my great aunts of porch drinking, which is a cool, refreshing drink that you would usually make in a big pitcher that you would keep as cold as you could, because once you sat down, you didn't want to get up, like unless you had like kids and grandkids running around to refill you. So I really love this idea of porch sipping and porch drinking, crushable, accessible, and refreshing, and usually for me a lower proof, because I'm going to be drinking a bit of them, and I don't really want to apologize for things I might have said to offend people. So one of my favorites is actually, I call it a slow and low. It's our Sipsmith Slow Gin. As you see, I've done a fair bit of porch drinking before this, mixed with sparkling French lemonade. I go to like Trader Joe's and they have that sparkling French lemonade for $1.59, and I just mix them. And I just sit. I don't have a porch or a stoop, so I have a balcony, and I sit out there in this nice weather, and I quake my thirst. And this being, 29% alcohol, and it's 3-to-1 mixer. It's very responsible drinking and very just a good time.
Yeah, it is. It is getting a little further into summertime, so I think people are going to be, social distancing is still a thing. So I do think we're going to start to see a lot of people sitting at home wondering what to make and what to do. And so any other tips or recipes for outdoor kind of, let's just all sit around, no more than 6 people, all 6 feet apart, sit around and
6'6" in the UK.
I'm sorry?
6'6" in the UK.
Really?
2 meters.
Meters, yeah.
2 meters, but 6'6", yeah.
Interesting.
So there you go. 6
So,
inches makes all the difference.
Smith, what is your favorite porch sipping libation besides the gimlet that you dirty dumped into your glass?
Dirty dumped gimlet's very nice. Of course, we have the fruit cup and the pims and stuff. It's very traditional here. Very nice. Need to have lots of ice, that sort of thing. I'm a big fan of whatever it is, and soda or seltzer, sparkling water. You know, this sort of job. Big fan, kind of that sort of thing. I also quite like a spiked Arnold Palmer.
Fancy.
I know. One of my tips, because like one of the things is about ice, right? And I know some people have ice machines and whatnot. But what I find when it gets hot, and have you been here in the summer, Kelly? It gets hot in my flat.
Yeah, last year I was in the UK for one of the hottest days in like 120 years, and I was very unhappy because I'm from Northern California, and like, you know, living in New York, I've kind of, this is my third year, I've kind of grown accustomed to it. But we have this thing called air conditioning.
Don't have that here. We got a fan.
Being in the underground,
open the windows.
Being in a crowded subway in the underground during a very hot spell is its own circle of hell. I like to think of.
An experience.
Yeah, it's that you should experience once and never again.
Yeah, they never came to the underground for like Fear Factor or anything like that. Oh, back in the day. But my tip is I quite often find other like slightly larger plastic containers, whether they be like old margarine tubs or butter tubs. I rotate them so I don't use them too many times, and I'll just fill that with water and then freeze that so you get a really big ice cube. And as Kelly knows, I'm quite a fan of freezing big ice cubes and then breaking it up myself. I think that's quite a nice way of approaching ice. It's very easy to do. I mean, I have no experience and little skill, and I can do it. So, but that works quite well. And you often get these little shards afterwards, so you can just stick that in a pitcher, and then that's your first porch drinking thing there, which is quite nice. So, I mean, thinking about the ice, I think, is really important, though, because it's not always easy to buy it.
When we think about ice from a consumer standpoint, the first thing is, don't be the person that leaves 2 to 3 cubes in the ice tray. Don't be that person. I know I can be that person. I'm sorry, Zara, that I do that, mostly because our freezer is quite full of stuff. So if you're going to, like, my great aunt taught us, if you're going to crack the ice thing, crack it all, put it in a different Tupperware container in the freezer, refill that thing right away.
The ice system.
When you're able to go visit friends again and you're into their homes, always call ahead and see if they need ice. You know, that's just a very nice, polite thing to do, because no one, you know, if they don't, they can just water their plants with it, you know. Be that person and always bring ice, especially for that porch sipping occasion.
I am that person. I'm always bringing ice.
So, just lovely tidbits from Kelly and David's etiquette class 101.
On ice.
Yes.
Ice etiquette. I like it.
I recently bought this. This is fantastic. I don't know where the top is, but it doesn't matter too much. It's a vacuum food flask, and I can fit about an ice cube tray's worth of ice in it and put the top up. Even without the top on, I can leave that all night and the ice is still going to be really good. So that's quite nice because it means I don't have to keep going backwards and forwards to the freezer for ice. So if I'm porch sipping, I can just take this out with me and we're away. And it just insulates better than ice buckets. All the ice buckets I've ever had, they might look really fancy, but they just don't last. And like after an hour or so, it's all just gone. Whereas this is very good. So another top tip.
Well, fantastic. I feel like we should probably leave it there. Leave a little something on the table.
Oh yeah.
Definitely going to have you guys back. We're going to continue our discussion of gin and the industry, and definitely give some more Emily Post-esque tips on etiquette when we can all come back together and share share a dram or share a cocktail or two. Last plugs, please tell us what we should be looking for coming our way as far as books or articles or new spirits.
Well, next next Saturday is World Gin Day, June the 13th. It's World Gin Day, so look out for that. We're doing a few little videos of our favourite serves of not Manhattan. That's not even a gin drink. Martini, Negroni, and gin and tonic. So they're on my YouTube, but they'll be around as well. Different people doing. I think Kelly's going to do one on the Negroni for us.
Yes.
So be like, I know you don't like a martini. Maybe a gin tonic as well. Maybe. Gin and soda. Yeah, so that's the other thing we're doing. But there'll be lots of stuff going on for next week for World Gin Day, particularly because so much stuff has got to be virtual. But here's the great thing. It means everyone can experience it. It's not just some great tasting going off in London that Kelly sat at home and she can't enjoy, or something that's off in America and I'm here thinking, oh, great, I'm just here on my own. We can all enjoy it together, which is quite fun.
Well, I mean, I think the statistics for World Gin Day for last year, they reached over 200 million instances and touch points. And that was when you could actually go and do this in person. Think about the extended reach Gin World will have this year, where everything is pretty much digital, and how this can open up gin for a lot more people. You know, celebrate it on the second Saturday of the month of June. Celebrate it every day of the month of June, responsibly, of course, as you can. So, Justin, thank you so much for having both Smith and me, and putting up with Smith on this.
There you go. And just a big shout out to Emma Stokes, who's the lady that organises World Gin Day, doing a fantastic job. Gin Monkey! Woo woo! Long live the monkey! Thanks, Justin.
And on that note,